All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right in. For some reason, I cannot get. Now we got it. All right, cool, perfect. So perfect. I'm gonna go live, and now we can get started. All right, everyone. Appreciate you all joining in. All right. So, for everyone, if this is your first time joining, this is Jason Kirby. I am the founder and managing director of Thunder.vc. We are a platform that uses AI to help founders identify which investors they need to focus on building a relationship when it comes to raising venture capital. It's completely free to sign up. If you haven't done so, be sure to check it out. But today we are doing our weekly deck roast. And what that means is founders, very brave founders, will submit their deck to our RSVP form for this event. And I have never looked at these decks before. I'm going to jump right into them and basically give them my honest feedback. And what that means is I basically put on my VC hat and I look at these as I would if it was a cold email. I have no existing relationship with this founder. I have no idea what their business is. I was basically sent this deck and I'm making my judgment calls based on and all my recommendations and constructive feedback accordingly. And also be aware that we do this in a way that I have a scoring rubric that you guys can find on the LinkedIn description of a 0 to 5 or the Luma event if you are RSVP'd and you're attending live. But what this ultimately means is we use 0 to 5. If you're 5, you are venture ready. You're ready to go get funding right now. If you're 0, you probably either shouldn't be pursuing venture capital or you didn't put enough work into your deck to even get an inkling of interest from an investor. So sometimes I'm harsh, but it's meant to be constructive, transparent, and to kind of give you that feedback that most people never give founders the time to do. So today we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decks that I'm going to try to get through in the next hour. And then I'm hopping on a plane right after this. So appreciate everyone joining us live. And if you guys have questions or comments, you can use if you're on LinkedIn, you can use the comment on the left. And if you're in the live stream, you can also use the chat on the bottom right. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and jump right in. All right. Window. Boom. All right, let's go ahead and kick things off. All right, so our first deck, Staymenity.com. All right, clean, simple branding, but I don't have any context. So, all right, short-term rental vacation rental platform providing luxury amenity spaces paired with tailored experiences. Okay, so sounds like Airbnb. So short-term, so problem, market lacks personalization, probably. Hosts are not compensated for at-home experiences booked during guest. Okay, fair enough. I have multiple short-term rental properties. I do not provide any at-home experiences because they cost me money and I don't get paid. No convenient way to book amenity spaces paired with experiences. I disagree with that. I think Airbnb has lots of experiences they offer, so I'm now coming into this very skeptical. Um, and then let's see here. Let's make sure I didn't lose the stream. So solution, luxury amenity spaces. So basically, I don't mind these types of styles where you kind of come in and out of stating the problem and then using the same flow to identify identify the solution. So I can understand that. So basically, bringing in. So going back to the deck here. Okay, maximizing host rental experience at based revenue and can be done all in one platform. So I'm like, okay, I'm really curious. How are you going to do all this? It sounds maybe interesting. I'm not really convinced that this is a slam dunk, but I understand the market. So I'm curious to kind of see what you're going to do here. So creating private chef, for higher end luxury rentals, I have one, and as well as I have friends that have them. Private chef, it would be pretty dope to offer. Um, so I'm curious to kind of see what they're doing here. So you can stitch, okay, all right. That's can put together like an all-in-one package. You don't have to plan anything and make it easy for both the booker and the host. The personalized travel experiences, so big market. Airbnb's TAM is 1.4 trillion. Seems interesting. Estimated by 2030 to reach. Okay, so sure. I guess it doesn't really tell me exactly what your market opportunity is and like what you're gonna do. So I feel this is lacking a real definitive market as like what's your opportunity as Staymenity. How many customers are you going to book and what market are you going after? This is an opportunity to kind of tell me more about your strategy and how you think about the market to create credibility around your thoughts and your approach. And I think you failed to do that with this particular market slide, just saying it's a big market, lots of billions of dollars. Personalized travel is, I guess, somewhat close, but I want to know what personalized travel experiences ultimately means. What does that break down to, and how does it relate to your business? And that was failed here. Competitors, this means nothing. I guess you're trying to combine all of these is what you're trying to articulate, but you don't really do that here. You're just like, we have competitors, but you don't define the scope of to which how they're competitive. So typical ranking would be the matrix, where you kind of show what two variables you compete on better than everyone else. The next one would be like the check boxes, like the table with what you offer, what everyone else offers. And you don't do that here, so I don't really understand why you're different. This doesn't look like a fun slide to read. This is more of what you should be trying to populate into your competitor slide. And I get here basically focusing on luxury amenity spaces, but okay, launch strategy, hold location-based launches when there is sufficient. Okay. This seems really early. This all looks like we're going to do everything, we're going to be awesome, and it's all going to work perfectly. We haven't done anything yet. So this is just bullet points, and then that's all they'll be interpreted by. This doesn't sound like a really well thought out strategy. Doesn't look like you have experience, executing on any of these. So credibility has just been lost with this slide. Version 1 launched and is fully functional on the host and guest side. So version 1 of the marketplace of the launch party, I guess. So I guess maybe the app. 80 luxury municipalities onboarded, 6-week time span. So you got 80 hosts, I guess, or maybe a couple large hosts with multiple luxury rentals interested in working with you guys. So please host to be a Staymenity brand ambassador. Okay, so people offering their pools from Simply. Staymenity collects 3% from host and 15% from guest. Okay, so it's basically Airbnb. You're basically taking Airbnb, unique select Airbnb inventory, moving into your platform, then going out and trying to acquire guests based on the full package offering. And host receive 5% from. Okay, so Rev Splayer, just execute. And then Staymenity collecting. Let's see. So basically, you're taking 10% on the vendor and experience packages, and you're splitting that. The host takes 5 to incentivize them to be on your platform for additional revenue stream, and you're taking 5%. And I guess 10%. I don't know what the margins are on these vendor experiences, but I'd probably be a bit more aggressive because this is luxury, and luxury means margin, and there should be a bigger margin for you to grasp here. And everything should be marked up, in my opinion, because you're packaging it all up. So I think you're a little bit light on at least the vendor package. Amenity package, that's, competitive to Airbnb, so it's fine. You also got to factor in the taxes that come into play and all that stuff, which I'm not sure if you do. This doesn't add much to say about quality control, as much. AI-powered identity verification through AutoHost. Yeah, sure. Maybe that's a point, but again, just bullet points don't really give you much value. Give me pictures. Again, the bullet points are killing me, man. This is not doing you well. Show me rather than tell me. Tech to social commerce team working with many venture backed. Okay, so you worked with venture backed startups, I guess maybe. Okay, good. Tech co-founder built a website. Great. I always want to see tech co-founders in most tech products. So I guess I don't know why you have a public accounting person on your platform. Oh, I guess in real estate exists, helps. Okay, you're using web dev company already. I wouldn't list that you're using agencies or dev shops. That just makes it look worse, especially when you say you have a tech co-founder. It's implied that the founder should be building the first product. It's not necessarily a deal breaker, but wait for the next meeting to kind of explain this, because it just shows oh, you don't actually build the tech. You probably don't know how to iterate and so on. But nonetheless, it's okay. Okay, you're only raising 300K, 1K minimum. Oh wait, capital expenditures 300K. I guess one. That's, I guess it's your ass slide. Doesn't look too good there. You guys are expecting 20K in revenue and then rapidly growing. I'd be curious to see if you're going to grow faster than Airbnb did. This, looks maybe similar to their trajectory, if not maybe faster. So big skeptic there. Um, and you're only targeting a slither of their market. Um, so yeah, like I don't know. I feel like maybe there's something here. I haven't seen enough validation. You don't show the product. This is a very cheap, basic deck that doesn't really give me the true story of showing me what this is all about. I think you're probably pre-seed 300K. You're probably angel round. I guess really I would target real estate investors and short-term rental. Like look at Built on YouTube. He might be interested in something like this. That's where you start, get some more validation, and really, really think luxury. I don't see luxury here. You're creating experiences for the ultra rich and higher upper middle class to have a one-stop shop for a flawless experience for whatever they're booking, and that comes at a premium with higher margins. You don't express that at all, and yeah, I think that needs to be articulated here. So I'm going to give you like a 2. I think you need some work to get to a 3, but it also has to do with the fact that you're just really early. So moving on. Future of improvement, Proimprover. Construction company sells project or app, manage the project and provides updates. Proimprover. Okay, so I've seen a couple of these types of apps. Whoa, that's a lot. Okay, I don't know if you really need to give me all these colors and different boxes and shapes. I don't know where my attention needs to go to. I would definitely oversimplify this. This might, when you're doing like an overview slide like this, I would probably suggest keeping it simpler. Proimprover, it's 2 software products, Proimprover and ProLook, that makes an ecosystem for home improvement. So I would give this feedback to a lot of people. When you have a startup, and I don't know what stage you guys are at, you are raising 2 million, so maybe you're like a pre-seed or seed. Maybe you have some traction already. But like when I see these slides, like, or not this slide in particular, this one's bad on a design standpoint, but when you're a small brand and you're now distributing 2 brands, when it comes to the deck and you're selling to investors, you are one company. Don't tell me that you have 2 separate products. You might have a consumer facing experience and a supply and demand separate experiences. But when you tell me you're selling 2 different products to different people, it's just like it creates confusion. Now I got to ask questions, and then it's like, oh, are you diverting resources? Are you going after too many market? Like I'm asking way too many questions in my head, and you already lost an investor. And if you just come in as one brand, solving problem solution, all that kind of stuff, and you can show that you're a marketplace, you're solving a problem on the supply side, you're solving a problem on the demand side, or whatever. But when you split the brands and you say like we got 3, basically Proimprover, ProLook, and Proimprover. Yeah, so I guess Proimprover is the main company, and also ProLook. It just look at me. I've already spent way too much time thinking about this. So simplify your branding and your messaging in the deck. How you want to execute to a customer, completely independent and up to you. But when it comes to this type of stuff, be careful. All right, so 20% discount, it's on save, target ROI, okay, wow, guys, 1000x 5 years is a little excessive, unnecessary. And 300 companies. So okay, you got 300 construction companies already on the platform. Great. 10,000 installation companies are on the platform. Those all sound great. I don't know if that equates to revenue. And I guess your ProLook, whatever it is in alpha stage. Okay, so you're doing something. You have some progress. Good to see. The founder. Okay, I just don't even want to read this slide. I guess don't give me an exit strategy. Everyone already knows. There's only 3 past exits. Like you don't need to explain the exit strategy. Market opportunity. The U.S. Construction size, okay, big, yeah, lots of money built, spending building projects. Okay, so ProLook, this is what you've told me is your in development stage, and then you have your Proimprover, which project labor materials. Again, you're making this hard for me to really grasp what it is when you're making me split the product into 2. Like I know from a founder perspective, I've actually been in your shoes with this problem. Don't do it. Just don't try to split multiple brands and try to you're thinking from your perspective as a founder. You're not thinking about what the investor needs to see, and that's what's going to hurt you. Keep it stupid simple. You're one company going after one particular thing and make the story about that. But one problem here with the deck is you're saying market opportunity, but then you're talking about your product. Like that's not market. Should be two separate slides, and you should really emphasize what your market opportunity is, not what the whole U.S. construction market is, because that doesn't tell me what you're actually doing. Um, like like what how much is being spent on software by construction companies is probably a better market representation of your opportunity. But founders often get caught up in this idea: I must show the biggest market possible because it's so awesome and everyone wants to see big market. It's not true. People want to see the market that you're actually going to get revenue in. All right, moving on. I guess you're trying to keep themed here as far as, I guess, pro looks for homeowners and the blue one is for the companies. This is too much to read. I really don't want to read all this. You need to simplify, simplify, simplify. But yeah, it sucks getting homeowners or homeowners. It's difficult to get quotes. I've experienced that. It's not easy. And construction companies, they got to manage all their expenses, labor, and all that kind of stuff. Sure, but about the solution, just you don't have to say about the solution. You just say the solution. Keep the fewer words, the better. Based on our experience, we came up with and implemented a unique method of doing the construction business, which has changed the approach of the industry. Has it really changed the approach of the industry? Have you guys been around that long to do so? Make a sale, 30 hours to find a contractor. Um, okay, you're saying what happens before and what happens now, I guess. Um, so it takes 1 hour to find a contractor. I find that hard to believe. Maybe to like, is that to give me the contractor, vetted, qualified, everything? I don't know. I see what you're trying to do as far as like the blue and yellow. It's starting to make a little bit more sense, but could have just had not had the pro improver language. You could have just had homers and company supply and demand. Um, Again, probably don't want to. Oh, that's not too bad. Programmer, smart construction system. Product is in beta stage with early revenue. Okay, tell me the revenue. Like, what's your actual revenue? So there's, okay, here you go. Now you're actually, with this tiny little thing down here, you're telling me about the market opportunity. So this market stuff needs to go on the other slide. So 100K construction companies, 300K installers, 1K supply of houses. 1K supply houses. Supply. Oh, the supply of the materials. Got it. They're monetizing subscription and ads, $50 million a month in potential. But I guess you don't explain to me what your average revenue is per person or per business or whatever, and how you make money yet. Oh, you're doing the pro. Okay, you're breaking it all up again. Again, just talk to me about from the customer perspective, not the brand perspective, because I'm getting confused as which is which, and it's just you're burning. Wow, your revenue potential is 60 billion a year. That seems high. I guess I don't really know how. Like, I guess if every single home ever built would use you guys, I'm not sure if like all the big new construction companies, new home construction companies out there would use you guys like Toll Brothers and the other big ones. So I don't. Again, losing credibility. God, this is just so hard to follow. Just tell me a story of what you're doing for the customer and tell me, yeah, like I'm having to like constantly switch context. And also I'm talking out loud, so it's harder for me to do this while thinking out loud. But just the fact that my thoughts are already confused makes this more difficult to go through. Keep the brand simpler and focus around customers. Okay, this doesn't do anything. We're going to do social media marketing and PR like that. You're not telling me that you've proven anything on that front. These are just bullet points. You don't show that you have credibility in doing so. Oh, and you hired an agency. Great. You spent money on an agency that maybe you have money, maybe you don't have money, but I don't know if you have actually results. I'm not a fan of pulling in agencies into the discussion. It doesn't necessarily give you any credibility. It just shows that you're going to be really good at spending money, not necessarily making money or having results. Um, so this, I guess, your product roadmap. Yeah, I'm sure it's got everything it needs to say. Uh, Man, yeah, this is you're trying to articulate too much by doing this. Like, I guess where's Thumbtack. I guess you have Home Advisor. Like, Thumbtack's a $1 billion company. It's not listed here when it comes to finding contractors. And I guess I'm not really sure at this point. I'm not entirely sure everything that you guys do yet. Um, This is, not bad. I always recommend on the team slides, always put your LinkedIn and like make it clickable so that we can look in and see you more. and what's going on. Looks like you have a global team, but predominantly the two main. Oh, is it only one founder? If these aren't co-founders, I guess yeah, that'd be the assumption that these aren't co-founders. It's a sole founder. Not a big deal, but oh, you are the owner of the marketing agency that you're hiring. Okay, like um, I don't know. It's not necessarily like it's just a data point, but now I guess it pulls that together. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's also something else. So I give this one like a 2 or 3. Again, like there could it's big potential, but I had such a hard time going and through this deck from like Proimprover, control, like all just flip flopping. It's just way too much information to process, and I don't really know exactly what the value proposition is on either side in a simple format. And ultimately, like I imagine you're going to make finding a contractor easier and make the lives of contractors easier. Like that's ultimately what you're doing. But I didn't really understand what your business model is and how you got to being a $60 billion a year revenue company. I'd probably tone down the numbers, be a little bit more realistic, put some actual traction numbers in here, and you might be ready to talk to investors. But I think there's a lot missing here. All right, moving on. Going through Packachange, easy, cheap, and fast packaging for SMBs. All right, I like these types of like intro slides. Tell me exactly what you are. Give me a tagline. Give me some frame in my mind going into the deck. I like when it's as simple, clean, gives me some contextual idea of where I'm going with this. This is great. I'm seeing a lot of comments. I want to read the comments coming in from LinkedIn and also in our chat on the event, but I'm definitely pressed for time. I've got a lot of things to go through. And yes, I did see this one. Recording will be made available. We will send it out to anyone that RSVP'd on the Luma page, which I can do real fast here. RSVP here to get the recording. Sorry for the loud typing. All right. Oh, didn't paste the link. There we go. Is that the? Oh, sorry, the link got double pasted. Used that link. Sorry. Trust us buying packaging. Trust us, buying packaging is much more painful. I've had to buy packaging. It does suck. It's not easy. You got to go through a bunch of vendors and you got to have MOQs and all that kind of stuff. So I've had a CPG brand in the past. Um, I don't doubt this flow. I would say that this is not unrealistic. Introducing Packachange, search, compare, and buy packaging easier. Okay, showing me the website, kind of showing me what the actual experience looks like. Good representation. Clean design, easy to follow. You're luring me in. I want to know more. Packaging's a big business. I can already know. Buy easier, cheaper, faster. Kind of repetitive, but back in minutes. I'd probably want a little bit more context as over too, maybe too simplified as how you're doing it. Okay, so I guess maybe okay, so this is like a variety of different type of packaging, maybe not just the actual like boxes that things get shipped in, but actually, in this case, like bottles and stuff like that. So I guess you're trying to tell me here, search for airless bottles, and then you get quote. Okay, I see what you're doing here. I probably add a little bit more context. So this deck looks like it was meant to be presented. And if you haven't followed this show before, I'm very much on the fact that you will, if you're ever going to be taken seriously by an investor, you will rarely ever pitch your deck in a meeting, ever. So you need a shareable deck that is self-explanatory going through for anyone. Now this is borderline. Like I would like a little bit more context as to like why this is special, why this is unique. I'm visualizing it. I'm getting them like, okay, I can get instant quotes. So basically, you say, I want this type of package, and then I imagine the vendors come in and bid on it or negotiate on it, and it's all consolidated in one place, as opposed to going to like, Alibaba and like all these other platforms and like jumping around and stuff like that. Okay, checkout. So you choose a shipping address, mail it there, and order. You get 15% commission. Additional revenue opportunities, advertisements, packages. Okay, so marketplace. You have 30 manufacturers signed up. 3 million items have already been sold. Okay, got 215K in revenue. All right. That's pretty solid for like maybe a pre-seed company. I mean a seed stage company. Nothing to be disappointed by. I'm interested. You guys had some validation. Again, design simple. I feel maybe oversimplified given my background in buying this stuff, but I would admit Alibaba is not user friendly, but it is possible. Um, so I see what you guys are doing here. Like this is a good represent simple competition slide. Um, one of the largest markets with little innovation. Well, I would say Alibaba was a massive innovation, but not necessarily checking all the boxes that you guys check. So you guys think you'll have $750 million in market share, assuming 17.5% growth in revenue month over month. So okay, that's sizable growth, 17% year over year for 5 years. Hard to sustain, but I guess not impossible. Um, also, is this GMV or is this net revenue? That's something when you're in the marketplace world, you need to be clear what's revenue and what's net GMV. Something that I think a lot of founders don't do as often, and is something that might be worth kind of really thinking about when you present both your numbers and everything else. Is declare you might do $1 million in transactions, but you only take 15%, so you're only 150K in revenue. So you just want to delineate down what's GMV versus what's actually net revenue. The ask, $2 million. Okay, so ask slide. I say this every time. Sure, ask for whatever you want. You want to have this, little pie chart that is unnecessary. Everyone knows you're going to spend money, but the bad thing here is you're saying you're going to spend it all on marketing and sales, which not always bad. Let me take that back. It basically says that you're going to spend all your money on Google and Facebook, and usually VCs don't love seeing that. But sounds like you guys need customers at this point. You're going to have some traction. Now it's about like getting more validation and traction. So it's warranted to spend money on marketing at your point. So it's not disappointing. But what the ask slide really should be is what am I going to do with your money? What am I going to accomplish with the $2 million? We're going to get to $2 million in revenue and 10 million in GMV, and we're going to have this many manufacturers and this many buyers, and we're going to do this with our product. Like, tell me what you will accomplish with the money and how much time this money buys you to achieve those things, so that me as an investor can go, okay, well, my 2 million bucks in you be able to get you to the point where another investor will come in after the fact and follow on with more money. It's all about getting to the next stage when it comes to venture backed startups. So you need to communicate what you're going to actually achieve. Ramal and Siddharth, 8 years building. Okay, I imagine these are links to LinkedIn. Yeah, good job. Do what you're supposed to do. So social media, marketing, business. Okay, so not terrible. I don't see any e-com background. Might want to see some of that, but not a big deal. And also, tell me who does what. Um, I think that's relatively important. Are you the CTO? Are you the CEO? That's something that I feel is missing in this equation. All right. Overall, I think you guys are like a 4. Best one so far. Very clear to understand. Um, we got a comment from Michael. He's saying you will never pitch your deck at a meeting because the meeting you have comes with. Yeah, so basically, so Michael brings up a good question. Why I commented on the fact that you will never really pitch your deck in a meeting is because if this meeting is being, has a shot at being taken seriously, the VC has already seen your deck. You got the meeting. They want to have a conversation. You're going to have a conversation. You're not going to go through your deck. Now, if you're like an accelerator, you're doing a pitch competition, a demo day, whatever, sure, that's different. But 9 times out of 10, you don't raise money that way. 99 times out of 100, you don't raise money that way. It's more about your deck gets you a meeting or your network gets you a meeting. They've already looked at your deck. They already have some opinions and they want to start having a conversation with you. That's what that ultimately means. All right, moving on next deck. But the Packachange team has done pretty well. And I'm going to have my team reach out to you, see if we can help you in any way. So Ari, if you're listening, reach out to them. All right, Scent Lab. Again, looks kind of interesting, but like, give me a little nugget, give me a little tagline, tell me a little bit more. Like, I'm like, okay, we're gonna smell stuff. Are you biotech? I have no idea where this is going. You help me. I'm just getting into the fragrance game after smelling. Just that all blend together in my head. I just want a fragrance that I can call my own. Okay, fragrance. So I guess that's the problem. Just finding the right fragrance is inherently personal. It's finding it sounds right for them. Okay. Not sure I would see this as a massive market. Start with an immersive video scent discovery. We deliver personalized scent recommendations. Select your scent. Select your scent and color, or opt to trial your scents. Okay, so I get it. Like, so you'll have some kind of onboarding quiz experience, whatever that, like, what do you like? What represents you? And are you a musty person, a sweet person, a sour person, whatever? Um, and then you basically, it's like kind of like the custom vitamin, solutions, all that stuff. Our recommendations get smarter over time. Post purchase, we collect feedback, leverage machine learning. Okay. In the first 8 months, all right. Hey, I'm not gonna argue. You got some traction, you got some validation. Cost you 20, but like this is great. If you have any kind of revenue, and then actually the last guys at Packachange, they should probably have this slide as well. Show me this data. All right, so let's break down this data. 350K in revenue. So imagine pre-seed, seed stage company, 5,000 customers that placed orders. Great. Average CAC is 28. Order value 54. Repeat orders. Product margin. There we go. So making 80%, which I'd hope you have high product margin on fragrances because it's outrageous what they cost from a retail perspective and how little they cost on the manufacturing side. But all right, so let's break down this number real quick. So 80% of $54, leaving you basically like a $15 gross margin after you take into factor the CAC and the product COGS. Also, I don't know if 80% factors in shipping. Not they have to elaborate that in this particular slide, but that's to be expected. COGS and product margin should be after product from your warehouse to customer. What's your actual COGS? So just kind of keep that in mind, because if that's just your cost of, if it costs $5 to have the product and you sell for 20, but then you have shipping on top of that, and then you have packaging and all these other things, then you just want to make sure your numbers are clear and defendable and look good. But actually, this is a pretty good number. I don't know exactly what the industry rate is for repurchasing of fragrances, but I know my wife buys like a fragrance like every 18 months. So she doesn't wear it all the time, but it's like every year to 18 months we have to have the I need a new smell look. Um, Ariana is on the call, 70% with fulfillment costs. Okay, so I would probably put that in as, the actual, but, gross margin, 70% is gross margin. Ariana, I think that would be a better representation of the reality. And then factoring in, customer acquisition costs, so on. So, it sounds like you are profitable on the first order, which is exciting. But maybe there's an opportunity there, but nonetheless, it's good. You're not doing anything wrong. I'm just overanalyzing. Over 100 4-star reviews and features in major publications. 4-star? I guess I'm usually used to like 5-star. Yeah, 0 to 5. I don't know if that's a typo or 4 stars are the metrics in sense, but I'm seeing 5 stars here. But I would look, that just caught me off guard. I don't know why, but I would probably look at making that 5 stars. All right, so we're backed by well-rounded team with extensive CPG startup experience, XPath, Myers, consumer insights. Okay, all look pretty good. Does it look like only one founder? Okay, not the end of the world. Got some PR. Be curious if they're full time or not full time. Just a fact, if you guys put someone on your team slide, this goes for everyone, they better be full time, or at least listing that they're with the company. Especially like once you get past like pre-seed, like if you're angel, friends and family, maybe pre-seed, but like once you want to raise a seed round, everyone on the team slide needs to be fully committed. Maybe they're not getting paid, maybe they're not necessarily getting like a full-time salary, but they got to be like all in, and they better be the team that goes forward after the money comes in. So just gonna keep that in mind. um, this one, I'm always indifferent on advisors. I guess it helps a little bit sometimes. You get some people involved, but like I'm always skeptical of advisors, because how committed are they really? What are they getting in return? What's their actual contribution? Is it just dropping logos? Also, I don't know what Starface is. I know obviously these three brands. I'm not sure what Starface is, but you did at least link LinkedIn, so I could do my research and look in further, which is exactly what you want to do on your team slides. The fragrance market is large and growing. I would say that this is late to bring into the game, but you're entitled to run your deck any way you want. I'm still following and I'm still going through, so it's not a big deal. All right, so Gen Z millennials. So Gen Z millennial customers are spending $1 billion on fragrances, is what I'm reading on this over here, but 30 billion overall. Um, it's still growing. Personalized experience at accessible price points. I'm not sure if any of these are at a similar model as far as like direct to consumer online. I'm not familiar with really any of these brands. And I know my wife's all about her, well, I think it's like Dior or whatever, kind of the big brands. So I don't see those here. So I'm curious as to why not. Um, so, curious. And also, you did do something interesting here. Like typically, affordable, expensive are flipped in these types of graphs, but you're smart. You always want to be in the top right quadrant whenever you do these matrices. It's ultimately always how you want to do it. So basically, you're saying you're fighting on affordability and personalized and tech enabled. That's your game. That's your window of opportunity. Clearly articulated. Not bad here. Our personalized offering is expanding to perfume and beyond. Okay, cool. Great way to show that you have future product ideas without going into like the detail of every single one. I see so many founders and we're like, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this. But it's always nice at the kind of the back of the slide, back of the deck, have like, but wait, there's more. We have these other opportunities coming down the pipe as well. Oh, okay. So this is we're unlocking distribution, next gen retail experiences. So is this already something that's happening? Rough mockup. So I have a lot of questions now, and how this is done and how it works, but interesting nonetheless. Curious as to the cost and partnerships and the unit economics of this. So this opens up a whole other lot of questions, but doesn't necessarily deter me from the conversation. Okay. On track to do 1.2 million revenue profitability in year one. Okay, that's exciting. All right, you guys have a pretty good, solid story. Assuming this is all true. Um, and see, so negative cash flow, and then boom, all of a sudden, oh, I could see, yeah, it's come Q4 holiday sales could explode. I would be curious of how people are going to buy it as a gift for other people, if they have to go through the experience. But no, um, all right, so use of funds, hire to. Okay, so good. Leverage tech to enhance customer experience. It's not. These aren't really outcomes. Give me definitive outcomes when talking about use of funds. Also, you don't actually say how much you're raising. I don't know if you edited it for this event or whatever, but you want to articulate what you're actually asking for. That's super critical on these slides. All right. So I give this one a 4. I think you guys have a good business on your hands. From what I understand about fragrances, they are massively profitable, with like 90+% margins on them, and just such little cost but high perceived value. You are finding a unique way to get people's attention. I would be curious as to like what the end result is from like taking a survey, and like what it'd be something I would test before making an investment. I would have ask a bunch of customers. So, but I think you could get a meeting with CPG investors, and Ari on my team. If you're listening, I would also have a chat with Ariana if she's interested, to see if we can be helpful in any way beyond our deck review. All right, great job, Ariana, and the Scent Lab team. Moving on. Pineapple Pitch, or sorry, Pineapple Square, making hospitality. Let me zoom in here. Making hospitality back office effortless, with data and distribution. So listing the team. 2 year at hotel school. Okay, so hospitality background. Okay, in-house tech developer. Yeah, all right. More than happy to get a sample. Um, and Bresman, Radu. Okay, so looks like a team that and they went through Draper University. Great call out, easy win there. Definitely should do that kind of stuff when you have it. I love the t-shirts; those are fun. All right, so like I'm interested. Okay, I don't know really what this is as much. Hospitality background, CTO. Problem today's hospitality tech landscape is like complicated. Okay, so yeah, I basically the point. It's complicated. Um, don't know what I'm getting here. Central networking and distribution platform. Create your own brand and promote your work. Recruit people and find work. So I guess it's like an all-in-one app to do everything about your, I guess, restaurant. Integrate all your software tools in one place. I don't know if this is a restaurant or a hotel. Integrate all your software tools in one place. Operate. Okay, so it sounds like everything's gonna be perfect all in one app. I'm very skeptical of these pitches. It's very hard to win on everything as opposed to winning on one, being excellent at one thing. Our focus is here: hospitality business and professionals. Okay, so I guess that helps. I don't know if that's really a target market. That's not really telling me like exactly what kind of hospitality businesses you're doing. When you say target market, I think like the actual buyer specific profile. Um, you're gonna do all these things, I guess. So distribution, so getting from marketing to connecting to people for work and networking with other providers. Find inspiration for okay. It sounds a little complex and convoluted, and I'm not, so these types of businesses are oversold to constantly. I have a hard time finding that this is a sales pitch that wins. Your gateway to the future of hospitality, bridging industry gaps. I guess I don't really know exactly what you're amazing at this point. So I'm a little distracted. I'm not so much interested in really going through. I like the team slide. I was like, okay, you guys sound like you might be smart guys, but I don't really know like what makes this a winning product or what you've done to prove it. As soon as it integrates applications, advertising of services and products. Um, okay, so you're saying market service providers and suppliers, but then you say here service providers and suppliers are not who you're targeting. There's a disconnect in the story. Global smart hospitality market, 14 billion. Okay, so it's growing. A lot of tech going into these more legacy businesses. So you're going to get professionals to build their personal brand and network to then, I guess, get jobs at these hospitality businesses. Then that will lead to suppliers and service providers. And so I guess am I like, oh, Frank Johnson, he looks awesome. I want to hire him. Is that what we're doing? It's like in a networking app, so they got to show off all their stuff. Is this like, I guess, if I just like restaurants or hotels, I'm not necessarily coming here. Um, but if I work in the industry, this is how I get myself out there. So I guess industry specific networking app. We're going to distribution platform of the hospitality industry with its proprietary data. So okay, dealing with cold start problem. Yeah, I'm gonna say you definitely gonna have a cold start problem. Um, so yeah, hey, at least you acknowledge the cold start problem, and I would probably say how you're gonna tackle the cold start problem, which I don't see here. Like what's the value proposition? I guess you're going to try to make it so that professionals can build their social network and have basically a TikTok just for professionals, and then that will grow into this and so on. Um, I guess why can't TikTok algorithm already do probably already does this. If you're in hospitality, you probably see a lot of hospitality content. I don't know. I would say this is like a two. Like it doesn't convince me that this is a problem, a big enough like that the problem is related to the solution and that the solution is a must have for these businesses. Looks like more of a nice to have, not necessarily like a true painkiller they need to pay for or participate in now. And I don't fully comprehend the business. So I'm going to give this one more like a two on our scale. So, there's definitely some work to be done. I probably don't have as good feedback here because I'm just struggling to really grasp the full comprehensive value proposition and that the world needs this. And also where you guys are really at with it and how does it feel, look, work, that kind of thing. So from like if you send me a cold email with this, I wouldn't respond. Plain and simple. If you have connections and people like you and they hear you out for a longer period of times, you might be able to get through, cut through the noise. But from a cold email perspective, I don't think so. Um, all right, moving on. Mood. Your emotions are dynamic. Escape static dating experiences. It's just a dating app. Let's see here. Millions of people on dating apps being herded like sheep I don't know if I heard it by sheep. I don't know what entails that. So current apps group everyone as if we're all alike. Why be herded like a sheep? Okay, now I see what you mean. Our emotions change, so why our dating apps are staying the same. Current apps have failed users. Everyone is drowning in a sea of superficial photos. No safe ways. Meaning, ability to see everyone available. Algorithm block out. Okay, so like I've seen dating apps before, and I'll say this again: like dating apps are insanely hard to win and grow. Like I do like your deck. I've seen other dating apps. They're this is definitely a better deck. I'm like at least getting through it without ripping it apart already. Um, tender hedge, plenty of fish, low meaningful engagement. Users don't feel safe meeting others. I don't know if this is all entirely true. I have friends on these dating apps and they live and breathe on them and they're addicted to them and they have a great time. Obviously, some people hate that the fact that they have to use them, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a massive problem plaguing the world. But then again, I'm married for 10 years, so I don't use dating apps. But variety is the spice of life. Human nature is to engage. People will pay to be verified. Yeah, possibly. Breaking one size fits all. I'm not sure. Okay, I mean, I guess how mood wise, like I'm feeling frisky. Let's meet someone like now, or like I'm feeling lonely and want a buddy. Like I don't know exactly what kind of mood differentiations this involves, but okay, all right. Creating little icebreakers. That's cute. Anti catfish. All right, so this has some like interesting features, and I guess this is what you ultimately have that's different. So you're at least articulating your value proposition well, but the problem that you're up against here is, um, okay, I gotta. This is a big deck. Hold on, a company never before seen its patent pending, mood selection experience. Okay, um, aka the founder. Okay. So technical, screen screamer. Okay, fun, light, airy, appropriate for a dating app. But I gotta be honest, all I give a crap about at this point in dating apps is have you solved the cold start problem or do you have a way to solve the cold start problem? Everything else is, secondary. All right, you guys are aggressive on the pricing, which, maybe there's a path for that. Okay, I don't necessarily want to read all that. 500K users in year one. Okay, so you're kind of saying when they got to the first 500K users. Um, so where are you guys at? Okay, full phase rollout, phase one, United States, initial launch in 33 major cities and India. Okay, that's a big difference. 10K users per month. 500 paid subscribers per month. So these are goals. Okay, so you haven't solved this cold start problem. Let's see if you tell me how you're going to do it. You're only raising 150K, 250K for like low valuation. So you guys are early. Maybe you guys are based in India. That's maybe what I'm seeing here. So it's not unreasonable to be both. But I would probably pick a lane, choose a market. Also look at the history of how these other platforms launched and how you can try to replicate that and create these micro networks that create instant value. Yeah, like of all the dating apps I've seen, at least I like your deck. I give you that, but I'm very anti investing into dating apps mainly because it all comes down to the cold start problem. Like, can you really steal users from Tinder, Hinge, and all these apps that have the network? It doesn't matter if you have great features. If you don't have the opposite sex, or same, whatever your preference being, you're just not going to grow. And you're not going to get the opportunity to scale. And these things have to hyperscale and grow really quickly to create the network effects. And you didn't address that at all in this strategy. So really dig deep on what you can validate and what you can articulate in a comprehensive way to get in front of or solve this cold start problem. If you haven't read Andrew Chen's book, Cold Start Problem, read it and then come back to your deck. All right, moving on. Oh, there, I guess. Product 10, I guess. Yeah, I guess really I like care about the pictures. I guess this is what your differentiator is, but I kind of want to see the pictures. But it sounds like you have like kind of eHarmony type app ish kind of experience. It's really going to come down to can you get a new set of users that aren't using other dating apps to use this, and you'll get acquired, or are you stealing market share from Tinder and all the other big ones and get acquired? That's ultimately the path for you. And a lot of venture capital firms just aren't super excited about this. Not to say you can't raise money, just saying that that's the reality. All right, moving on. I think I only got time for one more deck here. All right, clinical AI simulating clinical trials. Ooh, okay. AI driven SaaS platform for clinical trials and modeling and prognosis. New drug is risky. Yep. AI can increase the effectiveness of drug creation on 15%. I don't know what that means. AI can increase the effectiveness of drug creation on 15%. By 15%? So don't have typos. That already like knocks down some points. However, creating and managing own AI team is challenging, even special. Okay, there's some typos here and just language flow. That's a problem. Um, okay, so you have two brands. Again, stay away from two brands. I guess this is the parent company or this is the main company. Like, yeah, it's a game-changing SaaS platform. Stick to one brand, guys, using patient digital twins. Okay, interesting. So, top 20 spend. Yep, it's a lot of money. This has room to grow, I take it. AI and drug development market, okay. Um, yeah, believable. They have data, they're referencing it. I'd have to do it, double check it all, but yeah, all within reason. Basically showing that people will be spending, these firms will be spending more on AI. Competitors, what makes you different? Not bad. I guess basically easier to use and better, but nothing too extravagant. More problem specific, less problem specific, easy to use. So these, yeah, I don't know if these are like the home run attributes to define yourself around. I maybe can play around with a couple others. I don't actually know anything about these competitors. I don't know how he actually fall into line, but anyone in the space might know better. Key features directly in users for pharmaceutical professionals, not IT. Experience acquired. No technical. Okay. Okay, so it's basically really harping the fact that it's gonna be easy to solve their problem using this digital twin aspect. People pay up front for a license and success-based milestones. Let's go with provider of AI's own AI department. I guess that you're basically saying this is what they would spend if they did it themselves. So like, 1.5 million or something like that, and you're only going to charge, half of that, I guess. So 50K a month. Success fee? I don't know what that means. Are you taking a success fee of the success of a drug? Awesome if you can somehow negotiate that, but I would find that very hard to believe that, the big pharma of the world would share their revenues. But I'm not an expert. Um, Wrap it up here. Traction, a strong MVP that is usually paying customers in the European market. Okay, great. For drug development and support with big pharma. I would probably like sell this a little bit better. Like bullets, just yeah, this is like pretty basic. Like I could follow it. It's a simple deck. Probably be a little bit more articulate. If you say you're so easy to use, maybe demonstrate that. Like this doesn't look easy to use. Maybe it is. I don't know. How they importing data, collecting data. You're going to be talking to probably more technical, health tech related investors. So you probably might need to be a little bit more comprehensive. Um, so it looks like a technical team capable of building such things. That's cool. Again, always add the LinkedIn's. Very wise to add LinkedIn's here. Only raising 500K, 4 million posts, sounds within reason. I guess how much would these users be paying? But this is again good execution. Tell me what you're going to accomplish. All right, good. You're gonna generate 200K in revenue in June. So I don't know if this is an old deck or this is what you're gonna say you're gonna do, but this may be dated. Is this? I guess yeah, by December 20. Yeah, okay, no, that's fine. And then I guess you did accomplish $200,000 in revenue in 2023, which maybe puts you over the hump for more seed money as opposed to pre-seed. So a little confused by the dates here. But again, this is what you're supposed to do in a deck. Tell me how much you're raising. If you have a valuation, put it in there, and then what you're going to accomplish. Okay, 10 million investment for global expansion at the end of 12 months. 10 million might be a big stretch. I guess does this achieving this equate to a $10 million investment? That's basically what investors are going to ask themselves. So make sure that that actually makes sense on your side. Okay, small and middle biotech. You're not starting with the big guys, it looks like. That's will be also just like, what are you guys doing on the compliance side, a bunch of other things. This, I guess, is the parent company. So it's always a little confusing with product, parent company. Just like stick to one brand, is my opinion, unless this big brand has something else going on. It just creates more questions than needs to be. But this one's kind of like a 3 or 4. If it's actually, it's kind of hard to say at this early of a stage, but it leaves me kind of a little bit confused. Is like, is this really something? Do you guys have something? I'm not entirely sure. But if it works and it does what it says it's going to do from a high level, could be massive. I would probably just maybe want to understand the TAM a little bit more, because if you're charging 50K a month, there's only so many companies that would use it. So I'd want to know how that scales up, what your average account value might be, and various other things. And, is that on a per use case, so on. But I think anyone that knows the space, that invested this early, that in these types of companies, would probably take a meeting looking at this, knowing that you guys are rough around the edges, but they rather maybe give you a shot and have a call and kind of see if there's a value there. But that does it. I know there's one more deck I couldn't get to. I apologize for that. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. I know I got a bunch of questions. I'm gonna see if I can skim through them real quick. Um, Total score, I'm not sure which one that was for. I'm pretty sure I scored everyone. If I didn't, I really apologize. Oh, mood. Oh, sorry, mood. I would really give you guys some props on like the design. You guys did a good job articulating yourselves, but you didn't tell me how you're actually going to win in the dating app game, and that puts you guys more at a 3. If you told me a very clear path to solving the cold start problem, acquiring users, or you validated that to some degree, I would say you're more ready for money. But I think that's the biggest point. But you're also not asking for a ton of money, so it's not completely unreasonable. But yeah, I'd say like a 3 at this point, with the biggest issue being your go-to-market strategy. Oh, got it. Well, just because your co-founder's in India doesn't necessarily mean you should launch in India. You got to have a strategy, and dividing. You only have so much resources. You really need to pick a lane, stick in it, and grow in it. Especially in the dating app, you got to create those like super strong micro networks to kind of get things off the ground. That's going to create high value and get friends to refer friends and so on. Just look at the history of all the dating apps that were successful and how they started their networks, and see what you can do to do something similar for yourselves. Good job. Cool. Everyone seems happy. Think I answered everyone's questions, and that's it, guys. I really appreciate everyone joining us. Looks like we had some pretty good engagement for this session. Keep in mind, I do this every single Friday, assuming I am in town and available. So if you want your deck reviewed, make sure to go to thunder.vc. We have our events available in our newsletter, if you sign up with our newsletter. As well as I post it every week on LinkedIn. I share in our Slack community for founders in Thunder. We have a podcast called Fundraising Demystified that we share the stories. We have guests come on, share their stories of recently closing a round. We're not talking about the billion-dollar companies that raised 10 years ago. We're talking about founders that are raising in these current market conditions and how they're going about doing it, the strategies they used, and what it's how to go about raising money in the current market climate. We have tons of free resources on thunder.vc and our Funding 101 tab, where you can find all our content. All these recordings go there as well. And we encourage all founders to sign up on thunder.vc, create a profile for the company, see which investors that you match with, and which ones are worth building a relationship with using our AI. And with that, I will wrap. And thank you so much for joining us today.